Can't hide behind the mic, right?
That's right. So, this is an exit from The Necessity of Adversity 1. This is... Wake up, asshole. Get dressed. It's time to celebrate. Galen struck me repeatedly. What? What's going on? Waking up is traumatic. What are we celebrating? Your birthday, idiot. Get the hell up. It's almost midnight. Okay, I'm up. How old am I? I sincerely wanted to know. 2 martinis, please. Top shelf. Galen addressed the heavily pierced, semi-clad bartender. The Double Down was not known for being a classy place. A decade's worth of collected filth and graffiti consumed every wall from floor to ceiling. The Double Down was a pungent bouquet of bodily fluids and gallons of beer that had penetrated concrete floors and come to rest, forming a foul layer of sediment. Well, you're a quarter of a century old Dean. Living in the not-so-distant future with a guy you knew previously for about 6 hours. Bet you didn't fathom life could take a twist like this. Galen raised his highball glass and clinked it against mine. Could anyone? I sarcastically retorted. Honestly, Dean, do you ever hope we'll make it back? An interesting and valid question indeed. Back to what? I was staring down the barrel of a short bout of serious personal destruction and a hopefully painless exit. No one even knows I'm a criminal in this time, so no. Do you? I don't know. Part of me does. If for nothing else, just to feel like a part of the human race again. We exist outside of reality now. I do miss the mortal coil. Galen stared at the mirror behind the bar. We were trapped men. The bars of our cage were beyond our view. We exist outside of the mortal coil now. Make your peace with that. We didn't ask for this, and we have no choice but to play it out. Galen sat silently. He hadn't successfully detached from 1997 yet. It didn't take me long after returning from LA. I chose to look at it as someone would look at moving to a nicer neighborhood. You're still you, people are still imbeciles, and the rich still run things. The only difference is that you pay way too much money for rent on a different patch of dirt than before. Something still plagued my mind. I needed to know what happened to Dean O'Leary. In the event that we accidentally stumbled back into 1997, I'd like to know how to prevent any misfortune that should have befallen me. Galen? Yes, this place sucks. Buck up, birthday boy, the night is young. The barkeep walked over, handed me a Newcastle and said, "You single?" Who's asking? The bartender was definitely not my type. Answer the question, smart guy. Yes, very. In that case, this is for you, regards to the young lady at the table. I didn't even turn to see who she was. Tell her thank you very much. This is a first for me, and I'm flattered beyond words. Sure, pal, whatever. The bartender walked across the empty bar and relayed the message. She smiled, and I averted my stare. That was true. No stranger had ever purchased a beer from me and sent it through the bartender. It was coy and flirtatious. My experience with women thus far could be better described as aggressive and cold. Aren't you going to talk to her? Galen prodded. No, I'm not a good barroom wit. Besides, she's sitting with someone. Don't be an asshole, Dean. The woman's not going to send you a drink and ask you if you're single if that's her man. Shut up. I'm justifying my fear. Drink up. Let's get out of here. At least look at her. The last thing I needed was... No thanks. Finish your beer and let's get out of this pit. Okay, you big baby, let's go. We've got more drinking to do. Galen sank the rest of his beer and walked toward the toilet. The woman was stunning. Her icy eyes could compel completely for centuries. She wore a crisp emerald dress whose lines evoked thoughts of a young Evelyn Akers. All I wanted was to be moved by someone and to feel that I moved them in return. Nothing unique there. By looking over my shoulder at this woman, I had been stricken by a familiar fear. Until now, I have been quite comfortable with the idea that I would grow old alone. But the reality of how alone I truly was, had me questioning the wisdom of solitude. The way our eyes met, I knew I could give it all to her and thank her for crushing my heart. I gluttonously continued to glance over my shoulder and accidentally make eye contact. I could lose myself to this woman, and that scared me. However, it nauseated me to think I may never see her again. Her severely cut pin-up bangs lent a note of seriousness to her otherwise long, playful auburn hair. She deftly collected her tresses and pinned them back, revealing her opulent porcelain neck as I casually watched. I rose and made my way over to this mysterious woman. I reached for her hand and I felt myself let go of control. and try again. I was consumed. There was no hope for me. Thank you. I'm flattered beyond words. That's what I heard. I'm Celine. That voice could say the simplest words and I would remain rapt. I'm Dean. Ah, yeah, of course you are. She and her companion laughed quietly. He rose and bade us farewell with a sly smile. I was confused. What did I miss? We were trying to decide who you looked like. I had you pegged as a substantially more attractive William Burroughs in his 20s. Also, my friends said you look more like a fragile Kerouac. But my name is Dean, I smiled, which means you are neither. You are the self-styled Casanova, an adventurer that eluded Kerouac and struck Burroughs as a maniac. She was becoming frightfully perfect by the sentence, so I played along, which is quite an admonishment coming from the gentleman junkie. She smiled brightly. We plucked one another's intellectual strings and our concerto was beginning to crescendo. Be careful, Dean. I'll show you why Anais was never far from Henry's mind. Be careful yourself this time. There's no June to stand between us. Galen exited the bathroom. I must leave. Will I see you again? You will, Mr. Miller, you will. I whispered, my sweet, delicate Anais. She smiled sensuously as I touched her lips to my hand, touched my lips to her hand. When I pulled my hand from hers, the pain was undeniable. After all this, had I found her here, in this bar, in this time? Elation tinted my doubt, clouded my smile. I turned so that she wouldn't see. Good morning, sunshine. Fuck you, Galen. Why are you waking me up? Because I need to give you your presents. What could I say? I wanted to sleep so badly, but the man wanted to shower me with gifts. And he was as giddy as a Catholic schoolgirl at a Boy Scout convention. All right, I'm up. I walked into the living room. Bad news, I didn't get you anything. That was a lie. I have something potentially world and earth-shattering to tell you, but first, the good news. You lost consciousness around 3 a.m., and you kept muttering, Anais, Anais, I love you, I need you. Galen barely suppressed laughter. Don't mock me. I drove back to the Double Down and spoke to the young lady who purchased your Newcastle. She came by this morning and left this, but refused to stay. Galen handed me a brown parchment envelope. My heart leapt with excitement. I opened the envelope. Anais. Celine, I corrected myself. Can't say. She wouldn't tell me. And she wouldn't give me her number either. Why not? She said that the two of you were destined for each other and that she knew you would find her if it took centuries. Sounds like she's playing games. My fingers found a piece of paper deep inside the envelope. Dearest Mr. H. Miller, I am caught in the immense jaws of your desire. I feel myself dissolving, ripping open to your descent. I feel myself yielding to your dark hunger, my feelings smoldering, rising from me like smoke from a black mass. Take me, take my gifts and my words and my body and my cries and my joys and my terror and my abandon. Take all that you desire. Take me as if I were something you want to possess, inside your body like a fuel. Take me as if I were a food needed for daily sustenance. I throw everything into the jaws of your desire and hunger. I throw all I have known, experienced, and given before now. Love, Anais. She is playing a game, Galen, and I'm all in. How could she be any more perfect? She moved me on so many levels. Her beauty enamored me. I adored her sense of style. I was thrust into ecstatic pleasure by her mystery, and I was in awe of her mind. I was hers. I must find her. I rushed past Galen. I called over my shoulder as I descended the stairs. You're a good man, Galen Gilbronson, no matter what your mom says. I showered and shaved with the ferocity of a hurricane, threw on my best suit. I'm going to find her. Whoa, just like that? You don't even know where this person lives, Dean. It doesn't matter. I'll find her. Look, man, no offense. Galen lit a cigarette. It just seems like you fall head over heels for every girl that turns your head. I don't take offense to that. Anything else? I guess not. I wandered Las Vegas Boulevard for hours on a hunch, searching for Celine, praying for a glimpse of my perceived perfection, knowing full well that I could not be satisfied until I possessed this woman completely, as she now possessed me. The sun began setting, but my intensity did not wane. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw silken ivory legs cross sensuously under a magnificent knee-length navy skirt. She was staring directly at me over a cup of steaming tea. I rushed to her side, wrapped my arms around her waist, and lifted her out of her chair. She dropped her cup, and our lips embraced to the sound of delicate smashing porcelain. The very molecules of the universe stood still and silent in reverence for our lover's embrace. I was right. This union was perfect. I had no doubts. I had no questions that were unanswered. Her lips were sweeter than the lover's wine Cleopatra shared with Antony, more permanent than the poison Juliet drew from Romeo's lips, and more perfect than a full moon's light cast on a dark sea. Our lips parted. I whispered in her ear, "I never want to be apart from you. Be with me until the end." Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. We lost all sense of the world around us. I pulled her into a side corridor of the cafe and began to cover her body with the caress of my lips and my pleading hands. I pressed her against the wall and dove into her flesh, needing to be deeper, to be closer, to be inside her, to be a part of her. She whined and wrapped a long, sensuous leg around my waist as her hand began unbuttoning my trousers. She moaned when she felt my desire for her. She guided me toward her, between her thighs, and clasped her hands around my hips as I plunged deep into her silken flesh. She swayed rhythmically against me and wrapped her arms around my neck. I placed my hands firmly on my obsession's smooth, enticing hips and thrust deeper and deeper. I felt her clenching, never wanting to let me withdraw. I felt her fingernails digging passionately into my neck as she begged me not to stop. Her body quivered as she released her grip. I leaned my head back and felt my body shake as a central tidal wave rushed through my body. We were barely able to breathe as we held each other against gravity's forces. "Get out of here before I alert the police, you perverts." The world came sharply into focus and we giggled like children. I buttoned my trousers and darted with my love on my arm out into the cool evening air. All was perfect. All was right.
All right.